So if you look at Bridges book 50 now, buying granola, we know that for this, remembering this everyone each time, that granola costs $6 for 5 pounds. And you can see that by the example. And this is the example we just went over. So the first time, what did they do from the 5 pounds and the $6? They doubled it, yep. Let's try to remember our terms. Doubling, which we know is times 2, so you don't have to do this, but I'm just walking it through you again. So they doubled it, and they went over. So it's kind of like our over strategy. Sometimes you do more to get less. And then they figured out this unit price. The one way they did it, the simplest way, was dividing the money, $6 by 5. But to do that, you have to remember this is $6, so you have to write 6.00. I would write this on your book so you know, if you can see it, sorry. Because we didn't cover dividing decimals last time. Some of you still have figured it out. You just use your thought process. Some of you didn't. You can do 6 divided by 5, and then you got to change it to a mixed number, and so on. But so when you're dividing money, then also put the decimal on the top, because your answer has to have a decimal. And then if you do it mom and pop way, it's 1 digit by 1 digit. How many 5s fit into 6? 1. And you multiply and subtract, and you get how many left? Still have 1 left. Now with dividing money, you have to keep dividing money until you can no longer divide, or until your answer starts to repeat. And this won't do that, so don't even think about that. So now we have to keep going until we can't. So we'll bring our 0 down, and how many 5s fit into 10? 2. So our 2 goes right here. 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract, we get what? 0. But we still have what up here? Another 0. So we have to bring that down and try to divide again. And if you remember from earlier this year, if we bring a number down and we still cannot divide, what do we do on the top? We put a 0 in our quotient, and then we are done. We can no longer divide. So our answer is $1.20 per unit. I want to do it with the mom and pop way just to show you the difference. I need a piece of scratch paper. Oops. So if we did it mom and pop, it's similar. Partial quotients. $6 divided by 5. I would write this one down also near this one on your sheet so you have the 2 comparisons. With partial quotients, it's $6, but remember, it's not how many 5s fit into 6, it's how many 5s fit into 600. How many 5s can you fit into 600 for sure? 100 is the best number to start with because it's close. 100 5s is 500. And we subtract to get what yet? Excuse me. What do we get over there? Who is that? Can't see. Hallie. 100. And we divide again. How many 5s fit into 100? Rev? 20. 25s is 100. And we subtract. And 5 does not fit into 0. So we put our answer on the top, which is what? 120, but we have to remember that this is money, so our decimal goes right here. So here's the 2 differences. They're very similar, and both work. You just have to get comfortable with one of them. So we are done dividing, so that's our unit price. That's the price per bar. So if you can figure out the price per bar, or whatever it is, that'll tell you which is a better buy. All right, so let's look at this first section here. So now up at the top of your book, it says that you have to use ratio tables to find prices of different amounts of granola. So you get to pick which ones you're going to do. Now there's 2 pages of this. I'm not going to have you do 50 and 51 through the entirety of it. That's just a lot of work. So let's look through this. Talk to your neighbors. What would be a simple amount of granola to find from this part, 1/4, down to there, down to here? Which of those do you think would be the simplest amount of granola to find? Let's start out simple on that one. What would be one that you would think would be an easy thing to do there? Anybody? Zach?
15.
15 or 15? 15? Is everybody all right with that? So 15 pounds? Okay, so let's go down on our first ratio table and figure that out. So what should you do first to find out 15 pounds of granola? There's more than one way to do it, but let's stretch it out so we can see some steps here. Moose?
Times 3.
We could just times 3, right? Because 5 times 3 is 15, and 6 times 3 is 18. So we already figured out that the price for 15 pounds is what? $18. That's an easy one. That one works out nice because it all works out equally. What if we didn't want to do that? Let's stretch it out. Instead of doing 5 times 3, if we look back at our first one, Slinky, so we could do 5 times 2. So let's just go on the next column over here and do 5 times 2 to get 10. So we're doubling. 6 times 2 to get 12. So now we know 10 pounds is $12. Then what should we do from here? We still have a lot of options. That's another nice thing about ratio tables. You do what you're capable of. So what could we do now? Can we solve it in one more step? Yeah? No?
Yeah.
Sure. If we're at 10 and we're trying to find 15, what would you do?
Add one group with a number.
Add one group. So 10 plus 5 is 15. Now let's look up here. So how would this work? Now we're going to add 5 to 12?
No.
What are we adding?
6.
We're adding 6. So 6 plus 12 is 18. So again, we come up with the same answer. We just did it a different way. And you could have gone over and backwards. It's up to you. Ratio tables are nice that way. Let's do one more together. Pick a simple one again. We'll give you guys the tougher ones with your partners to figure out. What do you think, Clara? 1? Well, that's not even a choice up there, is it? Oh, it is. Well, we already know that. That's just silly. How about a different one? Yeah.
50.
50? All right. Let's figure out 50. So we're at 6 and 5. What should we do from 5? Now think about our ratio tables that we talked about. What are the main amounts that we should always figure out besides 5? And this might not be in the same spot and it might not work out the same. Cole, what would you do?
10.
Do 10? So 10 pounds? Okay. Or what's... Well, I guess we can put 10 here. How do we get 10 from 5 then, Cole?
Just
Times 2. We double. So if we double the 5, double the 6, we get what? 12. So we're at 12 and 10, and we're trying to get to 50. Let's string this one out. Let's not solve it right away. Sorry. String it out. What can we do to make it longer? We know 10 and 12. What do we do after 10?
Times 10 by 2.
Okay, let's double 10 then. 10 times 2 is 20. 12 times 2 is 24. Now here again, we've got a lot of options. Let's get closer.
Double.
Double again. So double 20 and we get 40. Double 24 we get $48. And now we're really close to 50. Do we have enough information to solve it now? If we know 40?
Yeah.
What do we know that we can do?
10.
4 and 10 equals 50 pounds. And 48 and 12 equals what? Yep.
50.
Sure?
No, 60.
$60, yes. So that one we could do by doing addition and multiplying. Most of you could have done it in 1 step or 2 steps. That's no shocker. All right. So there are 3 more spots on this page. Pick 3 more amounts and figure out the total cost of those amounts out of any of those that are up here. If you want more of a challenge, I would start or try a fraction. If If you want to keep it simple, that's fine also, just so for practice. And if you get stuck, raise your hand or come on up and we'll take a look at it.